Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so you haven't seen me for a little bit. That's because I've been running a little bit of an experiment. So what is my experiment? I happen to have a Model X 60D that pretty much for a week now, and I've been testing it out. So the first question the first video I'm gonna make on this car is basically what is my experience with the 60D coming from obviously what I own, which is a 100D Model S. So I'm gonna break it down for you guys, what I like, what I don't like, and at the end I'm gonna tell you guys if I could buy this car today. Let's say I don't have a Tesla, would I buy this car? Now the coolest part is this car, the date, by the way, on this car is 2016, 12, which means December 2016. I guess it's when the car was born. So it's not even that old. And it's only got, I'm going to double check just to make sure, 40,000 kilometers on it. So it's not a lot. It is the black Model X with the white interior, which, by the way, considering the 40,000 kilometers, this white actually looks really, really good. It does have AP2, so that's a wonderful thing because, well, it's got all the cameras, the Sentry mode, the dog mode, and all those wonderful little things. However, what it doesn't have is a bigger size battery. Obviously, being a 60D, it does have a much smaller battery. So my question was, me coming from a 100D and jumping into the 60D, I did for 1 week pretty much the same driving I would with my 100D Model S, and I wanted to see what the difference is. First and foremost, yes, I definitely need to charge the car up a lot more, and by a lot, I'm talking probably around 40% more than if I was driving my Model S 100D. I'm also much more, I feel like it's obviously not going to have the same range. It is a heavier car as, let's say, a Model S that's a 60D. With that said, I have absolutely zero complaints about this car. In fact, this whole week that I've had this car, it has been nothing but a blast. The Model X has a special, I guess you can call it, wacky factor. It's the thing that really draws itself a lot of attention. It wants attention all the time. And when you park your car, or I went to buy coffee, even when I just parked somewhere and basically I opened up the wing doors, one thing I noticed is everybody's around the car. Everybody wants to know why those doors just went up. And you'd think that this wouldn't be such a big deal these days because, well, it's a Model X. Most people have heard about this car. The truth is, a lot of people have not heard about this car. Today, I had the pleasure, I'll just check to make sure I don't run into anyone. I had the pleasure of putting on the show that car usually does to a gentleman that I have the pleasure of working with, and you know, the car does its little musical thing and all that stuff, and it's all wonderful, it's all great. And this guy was in awe. And I tell him this is a 2017, I guess, Model X. It's not 2019, it's nothing new, and he's never seen this. And this is a guy who, you know, he heard about Tesla, and now he wants to know how he can get his hands on one. So after a week of driving this car, all these little things I started noticing. One of the biggest things I noticed is definitely gets a heck of a lot more attention than the Model S does. The other thing, which is, by the way, both a good thing and a bad thing. The other thing I noticed is the usability of this car. The fact that it has the self-presenting doors. I am so happy with that silly door now. I almost wish my Model S had it. And it sounds silly because what's the big deal about opening a door? Well, if you have coffee in one hand and you got your keys and on all the other things in the other hand, it is ridiculously convenient. Wow, this is a bumpy ride. So it's because it's so convenient, because it allows you to just kind of jump into your car, push the brake, the door closes. There's a really interesting sensation. The car kind of just welcomes you. And it works the same way when I went to pick up somebody. If I went to pick up my worker, for example, or if I Even my wife, before they get to the car, I just push this little button and it opens the doors for them, and they get in. I push it again, it closes the door for them. It's a really, really neat feeling. But one of the biggest things I noticed is I actually took my mother in this car and we went for a nice little mini trip, if you want to call it that. And I was on autopilot pretty much the entire trip. And my mom, who is, I guess you can say she's very accustomed to technology. No thanks to her son, obviously. But she had no problems with it. She was, yeah. And at one point I even asked her, like, you're aware that the car drove this whole time? And she's like, oh yeah, I saw that, it's good. I'm like, so how did the car drive? She's like, yeah, it drove good, no problems. See, the big windscreen gives you a really open feel. And it gives you a real nice sensation when you're in the car. The spacious interior gives you an interesting feeling again. Autopilot is almost it's a pleasure to use on this car. The question is, would I buy this car? If I don't own my current Tesla and I was going out there, would I buy a used Model X? This Model X. Would I buy a used Model X? It does have some dings. This is Tesla's service car in a sense. So it does have some little dings, some scratches, some stuff like that. But it runs beautifully. It's clean, especially the interior. So really, when it's all said and done, there's really nothing wrong with the car. And you're gonna get a massive discount buying this car. And the 60D is enough. Believe it or not, I don't charge at home. I live in a condo, and that's just a pain in the butt to get a charger in there. So I use the superchargers, and even though I'm using the superchargers, this is ridiculously doable. So I think ultimately, if I didn't own my Model S, I would absolutely pay to buy this car. I would have no worries about the fact that it's being used. It's 40,000 kilometers. It's nothing. It's peanuts for this car. So yeah, I would buy it. The question is, will I actually buy this car? Will I go back to Tesla, and before I return this car, will I find out the price, and will I actually buy this car? Something I have to kind of let my wife in on, and we'll see if she'll let me do it, because happy wife, happy life. So what do you guys think? Should I buy this Model X? Anyway, with that said, thank you very much for watching the video. Till next time, goodbye. Drive safe, everybody. Please stay off your cell phones. Pay attention. And for goodness sakes, if you're on autopilot, it's not your chauffeur. It's your assistant. Please remember that. So, in other words, you still have to pay attention. Goodbye. See ya.